Truth or sip on the Rocks with Alexander.
All right, Ravi, you either have to answer the truth or you have to take a sip from the cocktail that I know you have. Are you ready?
Okay, I'm ready.
Some of these are like, oh, that's cute, but some of these are like, oh, okay. Talking about your theater career, the worst onstage mishap.
The worst onstage mishap was the end of Altar Boys. I had to, I don't know if you know the show, but I played the Jewish guy who like brings the band back together.
Yes,
and there's a really like intense moment where I get really mad at everyone and I blow up, and then I bring the boys back together. But I got really mad and I blew up and I forgot the words, and I was like. And I looked at the music director, who was Justin Paul, by the way, who wrote Dear Evan Hansen. Anyway, he was music director at the time, and he looked at me, and he started cracking up. And then I started cracking up, I couldn't hold my shit together. And the boys started cracking up. Just hot mess, ruin the show.
There's a viral clip going around because we're in June, and why have none of my gay theater friends share this to me? Leslie Uggams, who is an icon, is singing June is Busting Out all over, and she forgets the words. I don't think I've laughed so hard in so long. Because we know it's Rodgers and Hammerstein, we all know the words, and she literally was performing. It was like for thousands of people, and it was live, whatever. Have you ever? Why didn't you send this to me? And she makes it there. She's like, I don't know, and then she'll come out with like a random word, but the words she sings sound like they're from Harry Potter. We're like, you know, Muggle, blah 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 blah. But she commits to it.
So good.
She commits, and at the end, she's like, Joan, and it's like, bitch, you go. But like. So watch this video. Just look up Leslie Uggams forgets a word. Anyway, okay, next one. Trip you had the best sex on. What city did you have the best sex in?
So many.
The best.
I took a sip, but I'd say Barcelona.
Barcelona? Really? I would have thought like an Italian city, because those boys, like gay, straight, they don't care. They're like, okay.
No, Barcelona.
Okay.
Just... Yeah.
Okay, we're going to go to Barcelona, and the boys are beautiful. What trip did you hook up with more than one person in one day?
Barcelona.
That's why the sex is so good.
Oh, he took a sip. His boyfriend at the time was probably in the other room. Oh, my God. Okay. What is your least favorite thing about filming a travel show? Truth or sip?
My least favorite thing... You know, it's such a grueling schedule. It's literally from, you know, sometimes like 6 a.m. until like 11 or 12 at night. Yeah. So I think that the hardest part on it is just getting up and having to be on, you know, and getting up extra early. So like I have the extra cup of coffee, so I'm like really on.
Put the eye patches on, the concealer, all of that stuff. Okay. Yeah. A city you don't ever have to go back to. You're like, did it, hated it.
A city I don't ever have, you know what? I don't ever have to go back to Amsterdam.
What? That's like usually like a gay man's mecca. Like if they have 3 days left to live, 3 are in Amsterdam, they'll remember 1. That's interesting. Do you want to say why?
It was so hyped, and like, yes, the canals are beautiful. But it was like in a time in my life where I, you know, didn't really care about going to see the museums. And you know, it was just a big party scene. I just didn't feel like I necessarily got a huge grasp of like what the culture was, and I just wasn't really feeling it.
Well, because you don't do drugs and you're vegan.
Well, now.
No. Oh, okay. What airport or traveling cheat is so trashy, but you do it?
What? Say that again.
Like, there's like, you know how we like if you cheat at the airport or while you're traveling, like we do like a cheap thing, like put rolls in our suitcase or steal like the robe or whatever.
My cheat is I make it my mission every single time I go to the airport to get into the first class lounge. So I have it down to a pat now. I put in my headphones and I pretend like I'm on a super important business call, and I walk right into the lounge. And if you act like you're important, then you are important.
Can I steal that? Of course, if I do it, they'll be like, no, bitch. I'm gonna
No,
try that.
seriously, if you like walk in with a purpose, they're not gonna stop you.
All right.
You have to kind of like gauge it out though.
Yeah.
Like, if
That's
there's,
the
like,
velvet
Alex, you
rope
dress nice
technique.
enough. They-
Yeah, any
they would
velvet
notice.
rope, like
But
New
the
York
richest
City,
people
whatever.
don't
just,
dress nice. The nicest or the richest people don't dress nice traveling. My grandma always, we always wore a suit when we traveled, even if it was like the plane from here to Palm Springs. Like you wore a suit, but people wear horrible sweats with holes in them, and the worst dresses are the rich people because they're like, I'm off duty. Okay, Ravi, I know you had some stomach issues in Bali, but what city has the worst food?
I have to say that the worst food was when I was on tour in St. Louis, because where the theater was, the only restaurants that were there had no vegetarian options except for a side salad. So I'm like, really?
I
St.
must
Louis?
visit this
hope-
magic land.
I hope that St. Louis has gotten it together since then.
They haven't.
then opt for the rotisserie chicken. I mean,
But yeah,
Rotisserie
it
chicken
was
is vegan,
painful.
right?
yes.
No,
they,
you know,
they asked for it.
I mean, I make joke of it, and vegan people, God bless you. They're like sober people. I appreciate them. I just can't hang out with them too long.
Uh-huh.
I'm just teasing. I'm just teasing.
I'm not vegan. I'm a vegetarian. There's a difference. I eat eggs. I eat cheese.
Is there? Okay. Well, then there's more options.
What's the differences?
Yeah.
Right.
Like
But,
vegans
it's like-
literally
it's like
will not have fun.
a lot of these like top tier cities in America that are not in the not LA, San Fran, San Diego, New York, Miami, Houston. Like a lot of these other cities, they don't really have the vegetarian options are always like, I'm gonna give you linguine. Like, I don't need to eat fettuccine Alfredo or a salad. Can you have something a little bit more,
But it's so good. Pasta's so
a little more creative?
Okay. Ravi,
So-
yeah.
Okay, I watched a few of your videos before, coming in and stuff. And one of my favorites was, it was probably like 2017 or 2018. You were in Philadelphia, which I went to right after college, and you went to Woody's, right? That was my first bar job. Now, what was amazing about seeing this video was when I worked at Woody's, there was none of that. You would walk into like a little bar, and there's like a little sandwich place to the right, and that's what I was like 21 or whatever age I was
What
working
year?
there. But I saw that, and I was like, are you kidding? That's what it looks like. It was like dance floor, and it's huge, and I'm like, yeah. This was like 1990 something.
It's like the
my God.
Abbey, which is so huge and started off like as a bakery.
Nostalgia.
I didn't know that about the
It was
Abbey.
great.
It was a bakery across the street by the cleaners was a little bakery, and then it turned into a little, okay, we're going to sell alcohol, and now it's,
Oh my goodness.
yeah.